What's good, Raider Nation? It's your boy G_Money Raiders, aka Galen, coming to you another edition of My Take. Well, our Oakland Raiders lost again, which makes 3 in a row. So, this puts the onus now on us to win out the 3 if we can, to at least look at it as a winning season. We can win these last 3 games, you'll be 9-7. And that means that is a 5-game improvement from last year's team, which indicates that the team itself is on the upside with, the draft class 2 years ago and this past draft class. So if you get another draft class coming in right now and get some good picks, this team can be competitive with any and everybody coming up in the 2020 football season. With that being said, we lost to the Tennessee Titans 42-21. Pretty much in that game, the way I looked at it was inexperience on defense. It's a young defensive team. Although I was a little proud of the offense because we still ran the ball considering Josh Jacobs wasn't there. DeAndre Washington did fairly well. Jalen Richard did fairly well. It was evident that we still needed another big back, or another, back to compensate these smaller backs that we have with Jalen Richard and DeAndre Washington. So, to me, I don't know if, I think the running back, his name is Crowell, that the Raiders signed in the this past offseason from the Jets. If they're going to bring him back and have him and Josh Jacobs be the running tandem of next year, and if that's the case, that gives you the bigger back to pound the ball, but also give you Josh Jacobs to be able to be that elusive guy when need be. And I know Gruden because in years past, Gruden had Tyrone Wheatley, Zach Crockett, and Charlie Garner. And then the year before, he had Tyrone Wheatley, Zach Crockett, and Napoleon Kaufman. So Gruden, as we all know, loves to run the ball. That's just the way his system is, And to me, I don't know who's actually doing the play calling. I don't know if it's Olsen or if it's Gruden, but somebody needs to come up with some new ways to get the ball to supposedly your number 1 wide receiver, Tyrell Williams. I'm looking at that, and I saw them get the ball to Williams a little early, find him a little early. Then late second and third quarter, it's like he just literally disappeared for a hot minute before in the fourth quarter. I think it was the end of the third quarter, and then some parts of the fourth quarter, they started going to him. I think you should make it a effort to try to get the ball to him and make plays designed to get him on one-on-one where it's one-on-one. It was good to see Rico Gofford come in and get that big touchdown. I'm saying we need some speed. That's what I was saying in my last video. We need speed on the field. It's the reason why Al Davis loves speed. You can't teach speed. Speed is just natural. The reason you want somebody to be fast and pop the top of them because you have to keep the other opposing team's defense honest. They can't sit on certain routes. They can't sit on slant routes. They got to know that, I got to back off a little bit because I know that they can pop open over the top. So with that being said, to me, Gruden or whoever needs to think, I'm going to blame Gruden. Gruden needs to come up with a better design and better ways to get the ball to his number 1 receiver right now, who is Tyrell Williams. I do believe we do need another name receiver to keep defenses honest if you're going to keep going with this West Coast offense that John Gruden so loves to run. I understand that the offense was solely predicated around Antonio Brown because that's what John Gruden intended for this offense to run around or present this offense to be around was around Antonio Brown. So now you got to find somebody who not only is fast, but fast and can get open. So we need to make sure that in this upcoming draft, offensively, we find a wide receiver. That's a must. The offensive line did fairly well considering Trent Brown didn't play. Brandon Parker did all right. There was still some plays where, he allowed the defender to push him back towards Carr. I didn't like that. What I didn't like also was, the more common theme in our offense is you always know when John Gruden's going to run the ball. I mean, is it just me that notices that? Like, every time I turn around and I look, I go, okay, I know he's getting ready to run the ball. I don't really see no serious play actions or bootleg plays. I remember so many times Gruden would have Gannon run bootlegs like mad crazy and confuse and kill the defenses with that, because the defenses had to be kept honest on Gannon's bootlegs. And I don't understand how come he doesn't do that with Carr. I just don't understand why. I mean, I know partial of it is because, let's keep it honest, y'all, Carr is fragile. We all know that. He's been hurt every year except this year so far. So I'm going to say that, in this game, this past game, should I say, the offense did good by scoring 21 points. So that should have held up or kept things in check. But giving up the fumble by Darren Waller was huge, because you just our defense just allowed Tennessee to go up 28. And they, going up 28-21, and then you turn around and fumble the ball, and then they pick it up and run it in for a 6, which then made it 35. And then now you're in the hole and you're down by 2 touchdowns as opposed to you were down by 1 marching down the field. So we got to me, it's a point of emphasis now of going out and going into these last 3 games of really finding a way to get this offense doing stuff that it normally doesn't do. We got to find ways. We got to find certain things to get this offense, just some way, somehow, looking like people where, when he throw the ball and the defense doesn't realize or know that, oh, dang, we didn't see that, or, oh, we didn't notice that. And then the person is just wide open, going down the field or whatever. I didn't like the fact that how we got all the way down to the 1-yard line and just literally barely could get it in. Barely. It's like, how do you run a goal line play and you motion DeAndre Washington to the right, and then you only have Ian in the backfield, and you hand the ball to Ian, and then the linebacker literally jumps over the line to stop Ian go right in his tracks. Literally. He stops him right in his tracks by jumping over. I don't understand how 1 minute, sometimes this is what I don't understand, y'all. I'm sorry to be rambling about this, but I don't understand how 1 minute I'm watching the Cincinnati game and I see Carr calls the middle linebacker blitzing, sees that he's going to blitz, but the middle linebacker doesn't even show that he's blitzing, but yet he blitz. But yet you don't see the linebacker, number 55, is sitting there looking like literally he's going to blitz. So you don't try to do a hard count. There's no way of knowing, or you can tell the team we're going to do a hard count because you see this guy who jumps over the line, who anticipated the snap count because he knew when the snap count was going to come. So I'm not understanding on that aspect as well. So that's what we have as far as our offense goes. We're not really getting the ball to the receivers like we should, and then we have receivers like Zay not completely running their routes. So we got a combination of things that are going on into our offense that's literally hurting this team. Because I understand that you got new faces in new places, and everybody is either learning the offense or getting to know the offense because they weren't with the team at the time during OTAs and off-season program. So, I mean, like I said, I get it. And you got people just pretty much learning on the fly. So, to our defense sucked. I'm going to just keep it real with y'all. Our defense sucked. Now, don't get me wrong, because both offenses on both teams were really good on their third down percentages. So Tennessee's defense was giving up couldn't get the Raiders off the field just as well. But until the second half, then the 3 and out started to come. But our defense, for some strange reason, and our defensive coordinator, for some strange reason, wants to keep Tahir Whitehead out on the field during passing plays, when we all know Tahir Whitehead is not a good cover back. He can't cover. Now, the only person who can cover to me decent are Compton and Morrow. Those are the only two that I see that can cover decently, but not great cover linebackers. And you need to find a way to get Tahir Whitehead off the field during passing plays. 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. Get him off the field because he is getting beat clearly because he's too busy being a middle linebacker looking in the back of the field as opposed to looking for somebody when the Raiders do run zone. And when you run zone, you're supposed to be looking for somebody and not be covering space. You're supposed to be covering an area and making sure a person does not come in that area. Our safeties, which I do not understand. Riley, how in the world do you allow the tight end to run through the middle of the field right before half? Luckily for you that their kicker missed the 3 points, the field goal. I don't understand how your back is turned towards the end of the field. Your back should be turned towards the sideline. I don't get it. I'm not understanding that the work of a safety is you don't never have your back towards the end part of the field looking at the receiver toward the sideline. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. Your back is supposed to be turned either toward the goal line or your back's supposed to be turned toward the sideline so that you can see either way, whether the receiver or the tight end who's coming across the middle, because that's your position, your area. I don't get a lot of times what some of our defensive backs are not seeing or getting, but I get it. Eric Harris, oh man, that guy gets burned every time. I don't understand how you can be making Phillip Rivers look like he's an old man 1 minute, but then all of a sudden you lose your position some way, somehow, and allow the Titans receiver Brown get wide open over the top over Worley. And I don't understand how Worley got beat either on that, but he's susceptible to get every once in a while plays that the deep ball thrown on him. So there's some shit we got to fix, y'all. It's just some shit we got to fix in this offseason, big time. Linebacker is definitely number one. When we've been, we as fans, we've been talking about this for years upon years upon years. It hasn't been since, Beaker, and to me, I'm going to say Nick Roach was the last time we had two decent middle linebackers. But I would say that the game was totally different back then as well. So, like I said, I know this is a young team, and I'm not trying to bite their heads off. We are 6-7 right now. We are literally 2 games above what we did last year. So it's an improvement, Raider Nation. It's an improvement. And that's how the way I'm going to look at it. Because I literally, honestly, never really thought coming into this season, playoffs was was an option. I just wanted them to have a winning season, which meant a 9-7 record. And coming in and showing the league, okay, the Raiders are coming. They're going to be moving to Vegas. And they're going to be, something to be reckoned with come seasons ahead. Now, I still believe that they're going to be something to be reckoned with because that's going to be predicated around the draft that's going to be coming up and what free agencies you got, because they're going to have plenty of cap space. So that's pretty much what my take is. I'm not going to go in on Carr. I think that boat has shipped and sailed in my book, because Carr can only do what Carr can do. I still believe on one play where we were down on the goal line, he could have ran, but he didn't run. So that's my take on our Oakland Raiders losing to the Tennessee Titans 42-21. What do you guys think? Do you think this team is turning the corner? Do you guys think that this team is legitimately pushing to be a playoff contender? Because I do. It's just a process that we have to sit back and relax and just look and let everything take place. Because this is the National Football League. You could be last 1 minute, but then first the next season. Quick. Because injuries and the way people go about the season plays a part into it. So, this your boy, G_Money Raiders, a.k.a. Galen, signing off to you guys. Wishing you guys, happy holidays and everything. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. I try to get in my comments in. Y'all know how I am. I'm working, so I try to get answer a lot of people comments in the comment section, all right? Whether you like my video or you don't like my video, I'm going to still keep pushing out videos, all right? Peace out, Raider Nation. Signing off.